on 98.7 Kiss Country.
7:39, tons of sunshine. It's a beautiful day. Get the short talk because you might need it in a couple of months. Right, Pete?
Or at least get the grill out. You can do that. Put on a sweatshirt.
Oh, man, I tell you what. Yeah, you can do some ham and eggs and whatever you do on the, Blackstone.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. Or get that breakfast mix with the peppers and the potatoes and sausage, and then mix in a few eggs and throw it on a tortilla with some cheese and salsa.
Good
Now
Lord.
you're talking.
Man, you're going to town.
That's what I do. I love it.
Wow. Pete's eyes are all lit up if you're watching the video. Yeah, we're talking Saturday morning here.
Let's go.
Oh, man.
I'm ready to tailgate for football.
Man, I know. And we just got done here. It's been a week now, so we haven't had any football. So what do we do now? Sit and watch.
Oh, man, we've got some good basketball, dude. We've got some really good basketball to watch.
Oh, man, do we ever?
Yep.
That Caitlin Clark is amazing. We'll get to that here in a minute.
Sure.
We got to find out about, we do the Iowa DOT update every Tuesday, brought to you by Mason City All Risk Insurance. Of course, you need some crop insurance. Dave and the crew's the people to go see and talk to, because, now's not probably too late to do it. It's probably a good time to be thinking about, changing, I suppose.
I would think so. I am far from involved in that anymore. I left the farm in North Dakota in about 87, so it's a long time ago.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah. But this is normally we talk about winter weather and driving and road construction, but we really ain't got a whole lot to talk about, Pete.
Well, I am going to talk about a couple safety initiatives that you're going to start seeing that the DOT is going to be doing. Number one, and I know we've mentioned it before, every year each district has 2 paint crews, and it's those paint crews' job to go out and hit every single state lane highway in their district to try to get painted. What you're going to start seeing, and you'll start seeing it on interstate, is the lines that are out there now are 4 inches. Well, we have started on some interstate, and this is going to go throughout the state over the next couple of years, as we are changing the lines to 6 inches.
What for?
So that actually cuts crashes by 7%.
By just widening the line by 2 inches?
It does. And, you're right. It's just by 2 inches. But when you think about it, if they were 4 inches and you widen it by 2 inches, that's widening it by 50%. It's 1.5 times wider and easier to see. And it does cut crashes by about 7%. But the thing is, you got to remember as well, that takes more paint, that takes more money. You need different nozzles so you can paint it from 4 to 6 inches. So it's a big transition. And again, that is something that is coming. So be on the lookout for that. And the other thing that's going to be a little more noticeable, and that it's going to start in either the end of this construction season. You'll probably start seeing the most of it happening early next year. We're going to be putting in centerline rumble strips on 2-lane roads everywhere where we don't have it. So that's going to get going, like I said, probably late construction season this year, early construction season next year. And it's going to take a few years because in some of the places, the roadway isn't in the condition needed to put centerline rumble strips in. If you would grind centerline rumble strips in some of those roadways, it would probably just fall apart because the condition of the road isn't what it needs to be. So we are also doing a project in some of those areas where we will go in and do a centerline joint repair is what we call it. We'll take out a couple feet in the center and put down new pavement, and then come back and put in rumble strips. So over the next few years, you're going to start seeing that as well throughout the state. So just be aware of that. It's a couple safety initiatives that we're going to try and really hope to do a good job of cutting down on some of the fatal crashes that we've seen over the past several years.
Well, there's a lot of people that do cross the center line every now and then, and you don't realize it until you hit the rumble strip in certain spots.
Yeah, exactly. And if there's not rumble strips, unfortunately, you don't realize it until something really bad's about to happen or does happen. So we're really hoping that this does make a difference, and we'll get at it as soon as we can. And again, it's just one of those things to be aware of. Again, it'll be on 511. The construction zones when we get going, but it's something, like I said, be aware of it because those work zone crashes happen as well. So we need to make sure people are looking out for it.
How about those roundabouts? How are they coming?
On the west end of town,
Yeah.
they're not even programmed, Jay.
Oh,
They're just a twinkle in somebody's eye right now.
oh, they're that. That's it, huh?
No, they like I said, it's been in very preliminary design. And the roundabouts are just one of the options for reconstruction out there. The traffic signals are still an option as well. As that moves forward in the design process and the programming process, we'll have more information as it gets going. So we'll see what happens. The new draft program, the 5-year program, the draft comes out in May, and we'll see. We don't know if it's going to be included or not. So talk to me after, I believe it's the first Tuesday in May, I believe is when that comes out. So we'll
Okay.
go from there.
All right. Other than that, not much road reports. Filling potholes. Are the guys out doing that, or
If needed, you bet they are. The other thing I would talk about quick is, and I know we touched on it last week, is we had a public meeting Thursday night in
oh yeah,
Osage.
the library. Oh yeah,
Yep, exactly. Or at the Public Service Center there.
yeah.
So if you couldn't make it, you can still go online, and there's about a 5 to 10 minute narrated PowerPoint that you can watch. You might recognize the voice on the narrated PowerPoint,
Uh-huh.
but it'll give you an idea of what we're planning on doing in construction season 2025 on both Highway 9 and then 218 north of Highway 9 in Osage, as well as sidewalk work along 9 and 218. So if you want to see what's going to be happening there, that's a great place to go check out the video, and you can leave comments. The comment period is open until the 23rd, so that's Friday. So give that a shot as well.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds good.
See, we got plenty to talk about.
Yeah, we do. Well, funny thing is, you'd think this would be coming from a guy asking a question, but Lisa, she's like, "Let's talk next season football predictions."
Funny.
She's
for
like,
Lisa.
yeah. The problem is with her though, she's a Cowboy fan.
Mm.
I'm going to catch grief about that now. I guarantee it.
Well, it's going to be Cowboys are going to be interesting to see what happens with Mike Zimmer as their defensive coordinator. See what I don't know. We've talked about it before. His first couple of years of the Vikings, that defense was pretty impressive. But I don't know if the other head coaching duties took away from his defensive prowess, we'll call it. And now when he can just focus on the defense again, if that'll be better. But we'll find out.
Yeah.
He's got talent. Man, he's got talent there.
She's still listening, Pete. I didn't know if she would be or not. Oh, come on, she says.
Oh, come on. I was giving her a compliment.
No. But about
about you.
About her being a Cowboy fan.
Gotcha.
But yeah, still Brock Purdy still getting railed about not being the greatest quarterback, or not saying he's the greatest quarterback of all time, but the kid needs to have some respect from people around the NFL.
I am completely convinced, Jay, that it is one of those things where how many radio stations, TV networks have 24 hours to fill. So all they do is look for somebody who can talk, and they don't really care what they say. So, they can say all they want about whatever he does or doesn't do. Look at his 1-loss record over the past 2 seasons.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. And you're not going to get me to back off. He is a very good quarterback, and I would bet that 90% of the teams in the NFL would be happy to have him.
Yeah. Well, look at what he's done in the last 2 years. He's been in a championship game. He probably should have been in the Super Bowl twice, but he got hurt.
Correct. Yep. We'll see though. San Francisco's got a lot of talent and a lot of high-paid players. It's going to be interesting to see what they can do as far as salary cap issues and going from there. Unfortunately for Brock, he's not one of their issues. He's probably one of their lowest paid players because of his rookie deal. But
that'll
be changing too. Yep. Exactly.
Or somebody's going to go pay him something, a ton of money. Hopefully, don't pay him a ton of money to sit on the bench.
I don't think they'll do that. I think unless he gets hurt or something, I think he's pretty much cemented himself as a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, I think so. Well, Lisa said he can come to Dallas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because because Dak can't get it done for you.
Hey, tell you what, he had a great year until they needed him most.
Yeah.
And I can't even remember. I shouldn't say that. I feel like he did have a decent game against the Packers, but their defense couldn't stop Green Bay whatsoever. So I can't remember what the score was of that game. Didn't Dallas put up close to 30 points?
I don't know. I don't really follow
don't
Dallas that
remember.
much. I'm not
But
a.
if you put up close to 30 points on your home field in the playoffs, you should win. Bottom line.
You should. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Hey, we should, like we mentioned, we should talk a little basketball. We've
Oh,
got
yeah.
coming down to getting close to tournament time, and even though the Iowa State men lost last night, they put on a great performance at Houston. Too many turnovers for Iowa State early on, but that's, man, the athleticism and the defense they play, and then they can score too, so they could be a tough out. The only thing, and you've heard a lot of national people talking about it as well, is the physical style of play that they do. You get into the NCAA tournament and you've got some refs who call a tight game.
Oh, yeah.
That could hurt, but they also should know what's coming. So we'll see. I don't know. They're good. That was an intense game to watch last night.
Yeah, so I missed all that, but I did see the Hawkeyes win. They scraped one out the other night. The men's.
The men,
The
yeah.
men's,
Yeah,
you
and that
know.
was an impressive win because they came off what I thought was a bad loss at Maryland, and then they come home and Wisconsin jumps out on them in front right away. They could have easily just folded, but they
Yeah.
didn't. They fought back from a double-digit deficit and beat a ranked team. So that's a good win for them. Now we'll have to see if they can carry that momentum. I think they play at Michigan State tonight, and that's never easy whatsoever.
No, not at all. It's always a big, tough battle there. That's for the men's. The women's, I tell you what, I was excited, Pete. I'm glad she never did this thing on the away court. And when she did that the other night at Carver Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Now that Caitlin Clark is just amazing.
I've said it for a couple of years now, and especially this year. Don't take this for granted.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. I don't think we'll ever see it again in our lifetime anyway. She's just unbelievable.
What I love,
and everybody, go ahead.
No, well, I was gonna say what I love is to see all the young kids at the game enjoying the game. The girls, from the little girls to watching the basketball. Normally they're like, they're busy on their iPads or their phones or don't want to hang out with mom or dad, and now they're going to these basketball games. I wish I would have been there.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to feel and be a part of it. It just the excitement that you felt through the TV, was awesome.
Yeah, and it's not just the little girls; it's little boys that are going and just loving it. And it's just we're lucky. We are so lucky that she's on our team and we get to watch it. And I was going to say too, everybody knows her for the logo threes and the scoring, which, believe me, she obviously can do. My goodness, the way she sees the court and some of those passes she makes.
Yeah.
I mean, you better have your hands up if you're a teammate, because that ball could be coming at any time.
What was awesome, because she went into the last game for 8 points. That's all she needed to break that record.
Yep.
And I'm going, and me, I was thinking, I'm watching the game. I'm going, I would make her, I let her score right away and just get it done. That way we could focus on just playing basketball.
Yep.
And I didn't think it was going to take that long, but goodness gracious, like the first 4 shots of the game were Caitlin.
Yep.
A missed pass that she, that she didn't get an assist on because the gal wasn't watching for it.
Yep.
And when she came down and she started running and she crossed that half court, I'm going, I think it'd be cool if she just did a long bomb and nailed it. And she did about 2.5 steps past the half court line, and she jumped up to launch that thing. And when that thing went in, Pete, I was excited. I would have thought that they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Wrong sport, but you know what I mean?
You know what the sad thing is, Jay?
What's that?
I've been following Iowa women's basketball since the Meyer girls from Mason City played. So that's 12 years ago. And obviously you're getting to follow it more because they're being televised more. I missed it. I didn't get to see it happen live.
You miss it?
I was at a meeting in Osage. We just talked about it.
I would have put that meeting on hold and said, hang on, Caitlin's going to score here in the first 3 minutes of the game.
Meeting got over at 6:30. By the time we packed up and drove home and got back to the office and I got home, it was early second quarter. But Friday I went and found the replay and watched the first quarter again. So it was worth it.
Dude, yeah, it was so awesome to see her. When she launched that thing like a kid, I'm like, you got to go, come on. Boom. And I'm like, I was erupting just as loud as probably and I was home alone.
Sure. Yeah.
I wouldn't even watch it with anybody.
I've been there. Home alone and you're yelling louder than you probably would if people were with you.
Oh, and I said a few words just because I'm going, I can't believe this.
Right. Exactly.
This is unbelievable.
Are you blanking kidding me?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I want to see it again. And they kept showing it again. And then they had a big thing after the game. And it was just really a neat thing to see all the kids. And Caitlin signed a bunch of autographs and which she does all the time. And
right.
So she appreciates where she came from and what she's doing.
Correct. Yep. And it's fun. I really, at the beginning of the year, I thought, she'll probably come back for her 5th year. But now I don't think she will. She's already a marked player on the court. Everybody's after her and given a little bit more of a shove than they might, or a hip check or whatever. And that's part of the game. That's just part of the game. And that scrutiny would only get worse if she came back next year. So I'm guessing that this is our last go around with her, and it's really been fun.
Yeah. What's she going to do though? She's going to go to the WNBA, or is she going to sit back and just make endorsements deals, or what?
No, she'll go to the WNBA. Yep. I'm 99% sure she'll be the number 1 pick, and she'll end up playing. And I believe Indiana has the number 1 pick this year. And
oh, really?
Yep. So she'll end up playing with Aaliyah Boston, who was a player of the year 2 years ago for South Carolina. And she's at Indiana because Indiana, I believe, can't remember. I think she had the number 1 pick they had last year as well. And
really?
Yeah, Aaliyah Boston is very, very good. She was Rookie of the Year in the WNBA. So you get Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston on the same team, I think that'd be pretty entertaining to watch.
Oh, boy. Yeah. But the good thing is women's sports, Hawkeye sports, has all been put on the map and front and center, what everybody's talking about. So
yeah, it's so fun. It's we were just talking about it before I came on this morning. The women's game is just it's so much more fundamental. You see the screens and the pick and rolls and the changing defenses. And don't get me wrong, they do that in the men's game too, but it's just a different level. Yeah. The women's game's played below the rim with more, scheme and offense and defensive schemes. And the men's are played above the rim with some incredible athletes. Like I said, watching that Iowa State Houston game last night, the athletes on the court was just incredible. Yeah. But it's the same game, which is kind of 2 different approaches to it. And I love watching both of them, obviously.
To see what happens when you get that's the difference between men and women, Pete. They're more strategic. You can get in there. The women can. Us guys, we just throw it out there. Let's see what happens.
See what happens.
Women have a plan.
There you go.
Men, we don't. So anyway, it's always fun to catch up what's going on with sports and road reports and everything else. We do it every Tuesday. Pete, appreciate you taking the time and all your knowledge of sports that you have all the time.
Well, I'm glad I can put it to use instead of just wasting time online and on front of the TV.
There you go. Yeah. When it gets back into, do you bet? Do you do any betting like DraftKings, FanDuel? Do you
a little bit, not very much. And my biggest bet's probably $5. I'm pretty conservative on that.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna go. Ooh, that's a big chunk for me. Yeah, I'm like a buck or 50 cents or $2.
Sure. Yeah. No, and I usually only do it during football, but
a
little bit.
Yep. Every now and then I do golf. Just
really?
Just because I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who's good. Tiger Woods ain't going to win everything, so you can't bet with him all the time.
You're right. You want to hear a bizarre story?
About Tiger?
No, about betting. Sunday morning, I think I woke up at like 5:42. And I fell asleep again, and I woke up at 6:42.
And you had the same dream. And you
No.
made that bet. Oh,
Nope. And then I woke up again at I think 7:42, and I kind of laughed and I thought, I never bet on racing, but whoever number 42 is, I'm gonna put like a couple bucks on them to see where they finish. Well,
sure.
I didn't because it got rained out, and yesterday I forgot about it. Do you know what number won the Daytona 500 yesterday?
Number 42?
No, 24.
24?
Yeah.
Really?
So I was kind of switched around in my head, but I was on the right track.
Oh, there you go. Well, interesting. Pete could have won a lot of money.
And I'm not a race fan. It just I think it's kind of intriguing, and I think it's kind of cool how they have such a huge kickoff to their season.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of funny. I actually looked this morning because I forgot to look last night, and yeah, I saw number 24 one. So had the right numbers, just in the wrong order.
Right, there you go. Well, that'll happen every now and then.
Yep.
Well, Pete, it's always great to talk to you. We'll catch up again next week.
Sounds good. Have a good week.
This week is National FFA Week, and the students are celebrating and sharing the FFA story.